a time that the country comes together to celebrate and honor our heroes, the taxpayers. I take this opportunity to once again thank the Kenya Revenue Authority for bringing us together as taxpayers to celebrate this significant event. Every year, the government sets aside the month of October to appreciate the hard work and self-sacrifice of patriotic citizens who dutifully pay their taxes. This selfless contribution has made it possible to fund Kenya development agenda and to put it on a sustainable path of higher growth and prosperity. Notably, in the last 10 years, prior to COVID-19 pandemic, that is between 2010 and 2019, and based on the rebased GDP growth figures released last month by Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Kenya economy grew at an average rate of 5%. However, the economy contracted by 0.3% in the year 2020 due to the adverse effects of COVID-19 pandemic. But it is estimated to rebound strongly in 2021. Kenya, like other countries, was hard hit by COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic overstretched our health systems, disrupted economic activities, leading to closure of businesses. To mitigate the adverse effects of pandemic, the government implemented a range of fiscal, monetary, and social measures. Overall, these measures sustained economic activities, provided income to people and businesses, and supported the vulnerable and the new urban vulnerable. While the above measures provided relief to the economy and additional disposable income to the people and businesses, revenues declined, while at the same time expenditure needs and requests increased. In consideration of this, in January 2021, the government reversed the tax reliefs provided in April 2020. These have since resulted in recovery in revenue collection. Indeed, I'm pleased to note that with the support of taxpayers, KRA surpassed its last financial year revenue target after 8 years since the financial year 2013-2014. This is after revenue collection in the financial year 2020-21, which reached a new record with a collection of 1.669 trillion, as was said by the Commissioner General. This is an indication that we can achieve greater milestones when we come together as a country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to note that the 2021 Taxpayers Month has been anchored on the theme Pamoja Twaweza, which translates to United We Can. This theme is timely and resonates well with the government's strategic direction as detailed in the Big Four agenda and economic recovery strategy that will position Kenya on a sustainable and inclusive economic growth plan. Indeed, through 2020, though 2020 was a tough year for the world and indeed Kenya, we see a promising year 2021. Economic growth is expected to be stronger in 2021 than in 2020. We shall support this growth by maintaining a stable microeconomic environment. The fiscal consolidation plan that we are implementing will boost the country's debt sustainability position and ensure the country's development agenda is sustainably funded. Towards this end, particular emphasis has been placed on aggressive revenue mobilization, including policy measures to whip in additional revenue and rein on expenditure to restrict its growth. Achieving these strategic objectives will require that we all pull in the same direction. Consistent with the aspirations of Kenya Vision 2030, as prioritized in the third medium-term plan, we must now join hands to rebuild our economy to ensure that every Kenyan has a decent living, access to economic opportunities, and a chance to pursue their dreams. I therefore call on all taxpayers to adopt the attitude of Pamoja Twaweza and pay their rightful share of taxes, which will greatly help attain the desired economic transformation. Let us seize this opportunity to accelerate our economic growth, create jobs for the youth, reduce poverty, and share our prosperity. I commend Kenya Revenue Authority for leading the way towards economic recovery of our beloved country. The implementation of Kenya Revenue Authority automation process, especially during COVID-19 season, enabled the authority to improve taxpayer services and subsequently collect more revenues for the country. Indeed, in the financial year 2021, KRA rolled out the mobile service, M-Service, platform for specific tax administration processes, registration, tax filing, and payment of tax obligation and inquiry services. Taxpayers have embraced this platform. By the end of the financial year 2021, more than 210,264 accounts were created on the M-Service. Likewise, more than 27,674 PINs were registered, while 13,417 PIN holders applied for their tax compliance certificates through the M-Service. Additionally, I am pleased to note that it is in the just ended financial year, all custom-related inquiries and applications were processed online. These thoughtful initiatives made tax compliance convenient and helped the country mobilize more revenue. Ladies and gentlemen, the commendable revenue performance is a reflection of the success of the strategic measures that the government is implementing to enhance revenue collection. Through the tax-based expansion strategy, the government is focusing on bringing into the tax net 2 million taxpayers by the end of the financial year 2023-24, in addition to the current number of active taxpayers, which currently stands at 6.1 million. To achieve this, the national government will continue working with Kenya Revenue Authority in formulating national tax policy and enhancing reforms in tax regulations in order to expand the tax base and raise tax compliance levels. In this regard, this year's budget saw key amendments to the Income Tax Act, the Value Added Tax, the Tax Appeal Tribunal Act, Excise Duty Act, Tax Procedures Act, and the Kenya Revenue Authority Act. The digital service tax sector is among industries that were earmarked in the tax-based expansion drive, since it is largely untapped. The digital service tax is currently chargeable on services offered within the country by a non-resident company via the digital marketplace. About 58 non-resident companies have already registered for digital tax service and are making self-declaration with a tax contribution of 47.5 million at the end of the financial year 2021. Through KRA and other state agencies, the government has also initiated reforms to create business value for entrepreneurs to promote economic growth. A number of measures and reforms have been initiated with an aim of improving the business environment and to facilitate trade. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I commend all taxpayers for their enormous contributions towards the development of this country. Let us continue joining hands in making our country better. I also extend my gratitude to the Kenya Revenue Authority leadership and the staff for their support to the government. Your hard work has enabled the government to offer quality services to its citizenry. I reiterate the commitment of the National Treasury and Planning to support KRA to
KRA staff in general, wherever they are, those who are here and wherever they are in the country, we really appreciate your hard work. Distinguished guests, and this is especially the taxpayers. We really depend on you, and we appreciate very much the wonderful job that you are doing for this country. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Administrative Secretary, I'm sorry, and the esteemed taxpayers, on behalf of the KRA Board of Directors and the management of KRA, I welcome you to this important day in the calendar of Kenya Revenue Authority. We are cognizant of how much the government values the role of taxpayers in the economic development of this country. This is the reason we have organized the Taxpayers Month celebrations for the past 16 years to appreciate and recognize the contribution towards building the nation of Kenya through our taxes. Taxpayers Month has been set aside in every calendar year to recognize taxpayers in their various sectors of our economy. The selfishness and hard work of these patriotic taxpayers have enabled Kenya to fund its development programs. As a nation, we are able to meet our sustainable development goals because of taxpayers' hard work and their thoughtful efforts in being tax compliant. The Taxpayers Month has, over time, become a permanent feature on KRI's calendar to appreciate and award compliant taxpayers and create a platform for stakeholders and general citizenry to give feedback on tax policies and processes. It is also a platform to encourage non-compliant taxpayers to comply. Taxpayers Month will run for the whole of October, and during the period, KRI shall engage in various activities which include taxpayer appreciation visits, taxpayer education, taxpayer summit, and corporate social responsibility activities. And the Taxpayer Month activities will culminate with a Taxpayers Award ceremony and luncheon hosted in honor of distinguished taxpayers. The Taxpayers Month approach has been informed by the need to facilitate taxpayers to understand their tax obligations in order to voluntarily comply. I'm glad to note that August 2021, the Voluntary Tax Disclosure Program received 325 applications with the revenue implication of Kenya shillings 3.387 billion. This is a promising indication as seen through the large numbers enrolling and filing their returns through the iTax platform, which at the close of the tax return filings period and clocked 6.1 million taxpayers. This is the 16th Taxpayers Month since the program started. I applaud the taxpayers for their outstanding contribution to the Kenya's economy and of course social welfare. They collectively supported KRA to exceed the 2020-2021 revenue target and as reflected in the 2021 budget policy statement. This year's Taxpayers Month is driven by the theme Pamoja Twaweza. This theme highlights the collective role and contribution of both taxpayers and KRI towards the current socio-economic environment through collaboration. With the strategic collaborations as envisioned in the KRI 8th Corporate Plan, revenue targets will be met to support government's Big Four agenda despite adverse economic and social political challenges ahead. Taxpayers Month theme also calls for support from all stakeholders as KRI commences its journey to transform the Kenya Revenue Authority into a Kenya Revenue Service through strategies outlined and the recently launched 8th Corporate Plan, and of course has been elaborated.
The 2021 Taxpayers Month. This is the 17th Taxpayers Month in a row since the inception of this auspicious event in the year 2005. The theme of this year's Taxpayers Month is Pamoja Twaweza, which translated means together we can. Indeed, as underscored in this theme, the potential of our country's economic progress is rooted in our partnership as stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, the objective of the Taxpayers Month is to celebrate tax compliance in our country as a key foundation on which our country's economic stability is anchored. The Taxpayers Month spirit is therefore not only an opportunity to recognize past tax compliance, but also an opportunity to inject new impetus for future compliance. It is through the commitment and dedication of our esteemed taxpayers that KRA manages to collect over 93% of the exchequer revenue every year to fund our country's development agenda. While payment of tax may be viewed as a mandatory civic duty, it is our view as KRA that those who diligently honor their tax obligations deserve to be recognized and celebrated. Indeed, tax compliance is one of the greatest gestures that substantially demonstrate patriotism to one's country. Ladies and gentlemen, the last financial year was a challenging one following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, which consequently slowed down economic activities in the country. Despite the challenges brought about by the pandemic, our country's economic resilience stood the test of time, courtesy of patriotic taxpayers who continue to dutifully honor their tax obligations. This commitment saw KRA collect Kenya shillings 1.669 trillion in the year 2020-21 against the set target of Kenya shillings 1.652 trillion. Indeed, this would not have been possible without the dedication and selflessness of the esteemed taxpayers. On behalf of the KRA management and staff, I would like to express my special gratitude to our taxpayers who remained true to the patriotic and civic duty of paying taxes. This nation is indebted to your exemplary deeds. Ladies and gentlemen, as we enter the second quarter of the financial year 2021-22, the journey to raise Kenya shillings 1.882 trillion by the end of this financial year is still on course. In the first quarter ended 30th September 2021, KRA posted a collection of Kenya shillings 476.6 billion against a target of Kenya shillings 461.6 billion, recording a surplus of Kenya shillings 14.9 billion. This once again demonstrates the commitment and diligence of our esteemed taxpayers in paying their taxes and the resilience of our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, taxpayers remain our most valued customers, and their satisfaction as they pay taxes remain central to our operations. We continue our journey of simplifying tax procedures through the use of technology, including enhancement of the iTax portal and the M-Service mobile application. KRA's customer satisfaction journey is also anchored on improved trade facilitation to enhance tax compliance. KRA has enhanced trade facilitation in Kenya and across border through better technology, effective refund management processes, and our multi-agency collaborations. The most recent breath of new life to trade facilitation in the country is the operationalization of the National Cargo Deconsolidation Center, NCDC, in Nairobi. The center, which serves small-scale importers in the small and medium-sized enterprises, has significantly reduced the clearance time for goods from 2 days to between 1 to 2 hours. Small-scale importers no longer have to camp at the inland container depot waiting to clear their goods. The NCDC is jointly run by the Kenya Revenue Authority and the Kenya Railways Corporation. Small-scale importers have benefited from the NCDC through reduced last-mile costs due to proximity. Between November 2020, when the facility was launched, and August 2021, KRA had cleared over 1,000 containers and collected over Kenya shillings 1 billion in taxes. Ladies and gentlemen, while tax disputes are inevitable, KRA is keen to improve resolution of the dispute as an additional tool of enhancing customer satisfaction. The authority encourages concerned taxpayers to leverage on the Alternative Dispute Resolution Framework, ADR, whose outcome is a win-win for all the parties involved. It is not only expeditious process, but also one that does not dent relations. During the financial year 2020-21, through the ADR process, KRA concluded 552 cases, up from 282 cases from the previous year. KRA's journey to improve our customer satisfaction is further pegged on our availability across the 47 counties through KRA service centers, tax service offices, and satellite stations. At the apex of the customer service enhancement journey is KRA's transformation from an authority to Kenya Revenue Service. The success of these strategic measures will only be realized if all stakeholders come together and join hands with KRA, hence the theme, Pamoja Twaweza. The authority continues to exercise an open door policy and welcome stakeholders' input on matters that enhance tax administration in the country. I conclude by thanking every taxpayer for their dedication, commitment, and selflessness in building the nation